Welcome back to another video, fellas. Today I'm going to be talking about breakups. They are a very difficult thing to experience. I'm not going to chat shit on this channel and pretend that breakups don't hurt because we're alpha males. Bullshit. You're a human being. Especially your first breakup, man. That crushes you to the core. You're never the same after that. And I don't want to create a victim mindset on this channel. I'm just acknowledging the facts. You're never the same after that first breakup. Okay? What I want to do in this video is coach you on how you should conduct yourself when you receive the news, when you receive the "we need to talk" text, or when you receive that phone call, which for some of you is around the corner. Some of you have already received those texts, or you've already received that phone call and it's now over, in which case I want to help you going forward. But for those of you that are just feeling like it's going to happen, it's inevitable, I want to hopefully guide you in the right direction. Because most guys make terrible mistakes when a woman breaks up with them. Awful mistakes. And look, we're all human, man. You know, even I've done some cringy shit in the past, man, that I look back at and I'm like, why the fuck did you do that, you fucking idiot, right? I cringe when I reflect on some of the things that I've done in the past and the way I carried myself in relationships. And so I want to help you out here, okay? So the first thing before I get into it is problems will arise in relationships. I just want to give you a very realistic approach because a lot of you guys seem to believe that if we argue, then it's not a good relationship and that I should probably break up with her, or you know, women will often feel like, oh no, we're going through a rough patch. You know what? Let me break up with them. Now look, there are certain things that you can't return from, such as physical abuse. I believe if a guy is physically abusive to a woman, she has every right. In fact, even before the physical abuse begins, you know, usually there's awful emotional abuse. So yeah, there are things that are unforgivable, in my opinion. Okay? However, most relationships are not that awful. Let's just put it this way. Okay, yeah, problems happen. Yeah, couples argue, but that's normal. Problems will occur. Expecting otherwise is naive. Expecting things to be rosy and hunky-dory is very naive and childish of you. It's not going to be perfect every day, man. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every day. You know, the first 3 to 6 months of a relationship is referred to as the limerence stage, when you cannot see any flaws in the person that you're with, when they just seem to be so perfect and just, where have you been, my lover, right? It's that infatuation stage. I mean, you just overlook any red flags and you're just like, this person is the best ever, right? But after that limerence stage comes to an end, usually you start seeing what this person that you're with is truly like. Okay? And so I just want to make it very clear, guys, that it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows forever. Okay? There are going to be days where you have to choose to love each other, where it's not easy. You're angry. But for the sake of the relationship, you cannot lose control. Remember, guys, I preach stoicism. It's a male characteristic. You must remain calm. You can't be somebody who is easily provoked to react in an emotional manner. Because women will shit test you. For those of you that are new to my channel, shit testing is something that women do to test your confidence, essentially is what it is. It's a test of confidence. Is this man calm and collected, or does he lose his mind when you know, things happen, when arguments occur? Because that's a red flag for a woman, and that signals to her that this person is not mentally strong. He's not strong enough to lead me in the relationship. He's easily provoked. Now, don't get me wrong, fellas. There are certain things that you cannot tolerate as a man. Okay, you know, I'm with you on this. A woman, for example, shouting at you in public in front of a group of people or in front of your family. I mean, that is just damn right disrespectful. And that is a reason for you to end the relationship right there. Okay, there are certain things that you cannot tolerate. I don't want you to be a little okay, honey, whatever, happy wife, happy life. Because that's a saying that you hear quite a lot, and I don't like it. Because what it essentially signals is that you will compromise your core values for the sake of maintaining peace. I don't want you to be like that. However, I also don't want you to lose your shit at the smallest things. Okay, remain stoic. Be realistic in your approach to relationships. Problems will happen. But conflict resolution, how you approach the adversity in the relationship, is the important question, right? Ensure that you always conduct yourself in a calm and collected manner. All right? So look, before I get into how to conduct yourself when you receive the news of a breakup, just remember, problems will arise. It's not a reason to end the relationship over something small like, oh, she didn't do this or she didn't. No. Unless something was done that was extremely disrespectful. She cheated on you, whatever. Completely understandable. Okay? However, little arguments, as long as early on, because I always preach this, guys, early on in the relationship, you have to make it clear to that woman that you're dating what your non-negotiables are. You know, because if you just ignore all the red flags because she's got a fat ass, then later on, those red flags will become very red. And you'll, after the limerent stage is over, you'll finally be able to see once the infatuation wears off and you're like, damn, is this who I'm really with? Okay, so early on, you have to make it clear what your non-negotiables are. Okay? So look, with breakups, you got to remember this, fellas. Sometimes your core values just do not align because you didn't have those conversations early on. You didn't speak to her about, okay, I want to get married, for example. I'm not here to play games. I don't want to. That's a core value. For other guys, it's having kids. I want to have kids. I want to build a family. Now, the girl might have told you early on, I don't want kids. I hate kids. And for the sake of smashing, for the sake of just, feeding your desires, you decided to ignore it because you're like, nah, she'll come around to it. But then you realize a year later, 2 years later, damn, this woman does not want kids. She ain't joking. And now you have to start thinking about ending the relationship. So another example could be, for example, you want to live in a different country and she doesn't want to leave the country that she's in right now. That could be a reason why you guys break up. So these are conversations you have to have early on to save yourself the inevitable. Okay? So you got to make sure early on that your core values are in alignment. So, the breakup. Once you get the text, hey, we need to talk. Or she says, hey, I'm going to call you in 10 minutes. And you just sense the relationship is coming to an end. How do you conduct yourself? Okay? I always preach, fellas, that you conduct yourself with the utmost class and respect. You don't want to be somebody who loses his shit, starts swearing at her, you're a bitch anyways, you're a hoe, nobody's going to love you, oh, you're going to regret losing me. Because that doesn't make her regret anything. That enforces her decision for leaving you. She's like, damn, see? I was right to leave this fucking bastard. Look at him. He's an absolute wreck. And you know what's going to happen? The moment she leaves the situation or she ends the call, she's going to start laughing at you with her friends. You might have been screenshotted. Let's say you're texting each other and you're saying some wild shit. She's probably screenshotted it and sent it to the friends chat that they have together. And you become the subject. You become the laughing stock. Look at this goofball crying. Some of you guys will send horrible voice notes. When I say horrible voice notes, I mean either you're swearing at her, which you shouldn't do, or you're just crying. You send a voice note of you crying or a video of you crying. I mean, I've seen some horrible shit on Twitter before, man, of some guys just, please. Yeah, and I'm just like, fucking hell, man, you're a grown man. I get it, it's an emotional time. But you never stoop to that level. Some of you guys have lost touch with how awesome you fucking are. And I know a breakup sometimes makes you think of yourself as somebody who's not worth loving, somebody who's not worth knowing. It can feel like that sometimes. I'm with you, man. When somebody says, I don't want to be with you, you question your entire personality and who you are. Who the fuck am I? Am I even capable of being loved? Do you think of that? You do. Am I even interesting? You know, do I even have a future? Am I not seeing things that are so evident here? You start doubting yourself, which is why a lot of guys derail after a breakup and they just gain weight and their life goes downhill because they start believing those voices that enter their head. But just because a woman decides to end a relationship with you, it does not mean that you are not somebody worthy of being loved, that you are not an awesome, interesting, charismatic, funny man who is a pleasure to be around. No, we all make mistakes. Look, I'll be honest with you, we all make mistakes. I wasn't perfect in my last relationship. You know, looking back, there are certain things that I did that I cringe at myself for. You know? However, I had to learn in that way. Going forward, I'm a totally different man. I'm constantly improving myself, improving the way that I approach relationships, making myself more grounded, more stoic, because I don't want to be the same guy I was 2 years ago. I believe people can get better. You can become a better human being. You can become a better listener, a better communicator. You can. And guys, let me tell you this. In the same way that we put effort into our finances and our physiques, we also have to put effort into understanding our woman, communicating more effectively, being a better listener, being a better lover, understanding her love language. For those of you that don't know about the love languages, purchase the book 5 Love Languages, or The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, I believe is the author. Okay, people receive love in different ways. For some people it's physical touch. For other people it's words of affirmation. For other people it's receiving gifts, thoughtful gifts. You know, for other people it's acts of service. And for other people it's quality time. Damn, I actually remembered all of them. Okay, so look, when you're young and you're in a relationship, you don't know any of this shit. You're just like, damn, yeah, she loves the same way I do. Let's just fuck non-stop. That's what you think. But maybe she's the kind of girl that just wants to be held and, you know, she just wants somebody to spend quality time with her, you know, read her a poem, you know, make her a little meaningful gift. Maybe that's the way she receives love. Okay, so we have to ensure we become better men for our women. Okay, you can't be immature and say, well, no, she's a hoe anyways. No, because you could have been the problem. Maybe she was trying to, you know, guide you to loving her better or in the way that she wants to receive love, but you were just dismissing her. Because there are a lot of guys out there, you look at them and you're like, you know what? Your woman was right to leave you. You are an absolute mess. You are incapable of loving a woman. You think that. Now, I believe every person, if they truly put in the effort, they can be good lovers. They can be good partners. I believe in that. But it often comes from a place of immaturity. You don't want to try because you believe that it's your way or the highway. But if you want a long-lasting relationship, it's about compromise. It's about understanding, you know what? This is the way I receive love, but she receives love differently. She receives love. She feels love when I go and buy her some nice hot kimchi ramen and I bring it to her and I bring her some nice, you know, toiletries and stuff when she goes on, you know, through her period. You know, I bring her a bag of snacks, a hot water bottle, you know, I give her a kiss on the forehead, and that's how she receives love. You receive love by getting your dick sucked off, right? And you think, oh yeah, she probably receives love by me smashing, right? But no. Okay, some women just want to be heard. She doesn't want you to sit there and be like, you should have done this. They don't want solutions. They just want somebody to be like, okay, honey, tell me more. You know, and not in a dismissive way, like, come on, tell me, get it out. No, but in a way of, oh, okay, and how did that make you feel? You know, because women often just want to release what's bothering them to you. You're a calming figure in her life. She doesn't want you to sit there with a notepad and start being Mr., you know, you should have done this, you should have done that. Why didn't you say that to her? You know, she doesn't want that. She just wants to be heard. And after she's finished expressing her emotions, she'll feel better. It's like a weight off her shoulders. And then she'll go back to being smiley and giggly, but she just needed that 15, 20 minutes with you just to release some tension. Okay? Anyways, I digress. So, when you receive the news, conduct yourself with the utmost class and respect. You know what? I agree. I think it's for the better. It was a pleasure knowing you, and look, I wish you the very best. I hope you go on to live an incredible life. And that's it. You don't say, you shut up. Keep it short and sweet. Be an absolute gentleman about it. And then if it was a phone call, that's it. Hang up and go about your business. And I don't believe in blocking people and no. You don't have to be extremely reactive like that. Okay? Wish it the very best. If it was a phone call, hang up the phone. Yeah, it's going to hurt, bro. I'll be honest with you. It's going to hurt. Especially if this is somebody that you spent every day with for the last 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. I know some of you guys that are watching my channel have probably been with the same woman for 10 years. Right? It's going to hurt like a motherfucker. I'm just telling you straight up. Don't be like, oh no, I don't feel any pain. Because you're lying. You're not a fucking robot. You're a human being. It's going to hurt. Take the pain, bro. Be fully present in it. That wave of pain is going to go through your body several times, bro. Every day. For months, in most cases. Now, what I will say is this. Just because you're in pain, it doesn't mean you stop working on yourself. Okay? Over time, it will start to hurt less. The pain will still be there. And look, for those of you that have lost a good woman, it hurts. And you will think of her from time to time, even a year later, 2 years later. I'm sure some of you guys watching this video have probably lost a good woman. Or shall I say, moved on from a good woman. And you still think of her from time to time. It happens. You know, when human beings love, they love deeply. That's why I believe in the phrase soul ties. I know some of you may find it corny, but I believe in that stuff. When you are really connected with somebody for a sustained period of time, and then you part ways, it's not a case of just flicking a switch and you never think of her again. No, you will think of her. Okay? But after that breakup, that pain will be there. Do not, and I repeat, do not lock yourself in a room for months after that and just grovel in your misery. No. Use that pain and harness that pain to better yourself. You know, one of the biggest motivators for men is when a woman tells them, I don't want to be with you. You know, you're not the man for me. You know, whatever she said, I can do better. Maybe she said that to you. You know, some women are very brutal during breakups. Not every woman is going to be polite and wish you the best. Some are going to be extremely vicious and say, you know what, I should have never been with you. You know, I'll find a better man than you, whatever. And, you know, those words, harness those words. And for some of you, those words will be ringing in your ears months later. That's added fuel. You'll be having a shower and then you'll remember, I can do better than you. And you'll be like, fuck, okay, you know what? I'm going to finish this shower and I'm going to start working on my business. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to hit the gym. Don't let those words bury you. No. Work your ass off. And those words will actually elevate you. If you take the necessary actions going forward. Okay? So conduct yourself with the utmost class, wish her the very best, and move on with your life. When I say move on, I don't mean you're going to flick a switch and forget about her, but as in, you're still alive, first of all. Something to be grateful for. Your parents, I hope, are still alive. Spend time with them. Spend time with your family. Do not badmouth her. Do not go to her sibling, her friends, whatever, if you share common friends and say, oh, she was a bitch anyway. No, I don't believe in that stuff, man. I really don't. Because it's unlikely that she was, unless she did something extremely out of pocket, like, you know, cheated on you with somebody and, you know, she didn't feel any remorse for it, in which case, yeah, she's a bad person. But even then, don't go around insulting her because it just makes you look emotional. Swallow the pain and let that pain transform you. But in most cases, if you were with this woman for 2, 3, 4 years, she wasn't a horrible woman. She was probably a relatively decent woman. Yeah, you had your disagreements, and maybe you didn't see life the same way, but it doesn't make her a horrible person. Okay, so don't go around, because it just makes you look immature, bro. It does. We're men here. We're calm and collected. We're stoic. We're respectful individuals. If things don't work out in business, in relationships, we wish the other person the very best. If it's business, we shake hands and we keep things moving. If it's relationships, we wish the girl the very best. And life resumes. Okay? So look, after a breakup, look inwards. Acknowledge your weakness. Because there were reasons for the relationship coming to an end. There were reasons. There were signs as well. Dissatisfaction from the woman's part, dissatisfaction from your part. And some of it is mostly your part. Some of it is mostly her part. Okay, you can only take responsibility for your part to play because you don't control what other people do, but you can control what you do. For some of you guys, you just became too needy, too suffocating. You were in her face 24/7. You stopped meeting your friends. You stopped going to the gym. You stopped working on your business. Those things that made you very attractive to her to begin with. Think about this, guys. You were that guy in the beginning that she found attractive because you were hitting the gym several times a week, because you had an active social life, because you were working on something creative, whether it was a business, whether it was, you know, playing an instrument. There was something about you that she liked. Go back to being this person. Now that the relationship's ended, you've got so much time. You'll realize that. And a day will feel like 3 days in the beginning. Let me tell you that as well. A day will feel like 3 days. Because of the pain, you're just going to be looking forward to nighttime so you can go to sleep and just try and forget about it. That's what's just going to happen, right? But you need to get back to being the guy that you once were. And not even once were. You need to be even better than you once were. Okay? I don't want you to change the core of who you are, however. I don't want you to become more resentful and paranoid going forward. No. Okay? No. Don't make yourself a worse human being because of a breakup. You can still be a good man. You can still be romantic. Just don't be somebody who's easily taken advantage of, like you were before, let's just say. Okay? Set strong boundaries. You don't have to be a dickhead to set strong boundaries. You can be a decent human being and just be like, hey, I don't appreciate that. Going forward, you're probably more aware of red flags. Okay? So just be a little bit more cautious, but don't be paranoid and, oh my God, she's going to cheat on me. She's going to find a guy to fuck, you know, when I'm not around. No, because then you'll sabotage future relationships. Don't be that guy. Okay? And I would even suggest, and I'm going to finish on this, guys, that you do not date for a good 6 to 12 months, man. Look, I didn't see anybody after my breakup for a good 2 years. And even then, I'm not in a relationship right now. I'm not in a relationship. I'm still on my self-improvement journey. I haven't been in a relationship since my last one ended. Not because, you know, I don't believe anybody will ever love me again. No. But I made a decision to myself after my last relationship ended that now's the time for me to work on me, for me to create the life that I want. I deserve a good life, and I will do absolutely everything in my power to give myself a good life. And also because in the future, the woman that will enter my life deserves to be in a good, healthy environment. So I'm working on myself in every aspect. I'm working on myself financially, physically, spiritually. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father to my future kids. I want to be a good role model to those around me of what a healthy, well-balanced man looks like. He's not angry. He doesn't hate women. He's respectful. He conducts himself with grace. He's not a nice guy that people can walk all over. He has boundaries. But he's also not paranoid. He's not fearful. He still expresses love. And he knows that, hey, if it doesn't work out again, that's fine. I know who I am. I know that deep down inside of my heart, I'm a good person. And I don't intend to cause anybody harm. But life is risky, as Jim Rohn used to say. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to make it out alive. Okay? So you could still get involved with somebody in the future and love deeply, and it still not work out. For whatever reason. For whatever reason. And that's okay. That's just life. You pick yourself up again and you go for it again. Now, I hope that's not the case for you forever. I hope you find somebody at some point who you deeply connect with, and somebody who's willing to compromise with you and think long-term with you. I really do hope that for you, man. But just don't be paranoid and fearful, bro. Because I get that message on a regular basis from guys saying, hey, man, I just don't feel like women this, women that. And they make sweeping statements, generalizations. And I'm like, yo, relax with that, bro. Not every woman is out there to do you harm. There are good women, just like there are good men. That's why I cringe when I hear phrases like men are trash, because it usually comes from women that live as victims. And I don't want you to be a victim. I want you to work on yourself. Acknowledge the fuck-ups that you made, man. Acknowledge them. Don't be in denial. Don't ignore them, because then you're going to continue fucking up again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again, expecting different outcomes. For things to change, you must change. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. If you do like this video, make sure you give it a like, as always. And if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more content. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love.